You ever felt like there's a voice in your head that just won't quit? You know the one? It criticizes you, it worries constantly, and it loves to replay your greatest hits of every mistake you've ever made. Well, today, we're going to dive into a really simple but honestly life-changing Zen idea that could completely transform your relationship with that voice. And it all starts with a story about a really, really bad roommate.
Okay, so let's try a little thought experiment. Just picture your life, your body, your whole world as this beautiful house. It's your space. It's supposed to be your sanctuary, right? But there's a problem. You've got this roommate, and let me tell you, this roommate is completely out of their mind.
I mean, this person has zero boundaries. You're just trying to brush your teeth, start your day, and there they are, leaning in, whispering the absolute worst stuff right into your ear. Just chipping away at your confidence before you've even had coffee. Then, you get in the car. You're trying to get your head straight for a big meeting, and suddenly your roommate is in the back seat just screaming catastrophic nonsense at you. It's distracting, it's totally stressful, and it feels pretty much impossible to tune out. And just when you think you might get a little peace and quiet, nope. You get into bed, you're trying to unwind, and they pull up a chair. And they have a list, a really long list, of every single embarrassing thing you did, not just today, but like a decade ago. It's exhausting. So, in any normal world, you would have kicked this person to the curb on day one, right? You change the locks, get a restraining order, whatever it takes. But for some reason, with this one roommate, you feel like you can't. And the reason why? Well, that's the whole secret to getting your peace back. The twist is, that awful, critical, anxiety-ridden roommate, it's the voice of your own mind when it's stuck in overdrive. It feels like it is you, so you assume you're just stuck with it forever. But what if that's not the whole story? What if we've been looking at this all wrong? This is where a beautiful Zen idea comes into play that can totally flip the script. It's this concept of the host and the guest, and honestly, it's a game changer for how you see your own mind. So, I want you to imagine your mind not as a person, but as a place, like a giant, beautiful banquet hall. Now, you're not just one of the people at the party, you are the host. You own the whole building. You are permanent. And your thoughts or feelings, all those worries, they're just guests. They come in, they make some noise, and eventually they leave. And this right here, this is the most important distinction you can ever make. You are the host. You're that steady, quiet awareness that's always there underneath it all. The watcher. Your thoughts and feelings, they're just the guests. They're temporary, they're fleeting, and ultimately they are not you. Getting this separation is absolutely everything. Okay, so if our thoughts are just guests, why do the negative ones cause us so much grief? Well, it's because we forget we're the host, and we end up making a classic mistake when a particularly loud, obnoxious guest crashes the party. You know what I'm talking about. An anxious thought suddenly bursts through the door. It's like a drunk guest stumbling around, knocking things over, and yelling something totally ridiculous like, "Everyone here secretly hates you." It's disruptive, it's rude, and it immediately sucks all the air out of the room. And what do most of us do instinctively? We panic. We drop everything we're doing, we run over to this drunk guest, and we start to argue with it. We try to reason with it to prove it wrong. We get completely sucked into its drama. And this is the fatal flaw in our strategy. When you argue with the drunk guest, you're basically handing them another drink. You're serving them your focus, your energy, your attention. And the more you feed that guest, the longer they're gonna stay and the louder they're gonna get. Fighting the thought is what gives it power. But what if there was a totally different way to handle this? What would a Zen master, you know, the ultimate party host, do in this situation? The secret is so simple, but it's incredibly powerful. The Zen master doesn't panic. They don't jump up and run over. They stay right where they are, totally calm, totally centered. They see the drunk guest making a scene, they notice the commotion, and they just nod. A simple acknowledgement. But here's the key. They don't offer a seat. They don't engage. And that's the whole secret. A guest who isn't served, who isn't given any attention, has absolutely no reason to stay. Without your energy to feed on, that loud, anxious, drunk thought will eventually just get bored and wander right back out the door, all on its own. Look, this is way more than just a nice little story. It's a practical tool you can start using, like right now. So how do we actually put this into practice? It really just comes down to a simple 3-step process to take back your power as the host. So the next time you feel yourself starting to spiral, here's what you do. First, just stop. Take a deep breath. Just pause the automatic reaction. Second, label it. Don't judge it. Just name it. You can literally say to yourself, the I'm not good enough guest just showed up. Or even just, a guest has arrived. And third, just watch it. Don't fight it. Don't feed it. Just observe it with a little distance, like you're watching a cloud drift across the sky. And remember, this applies to everything. That sudden wave of anger you feel in traffic, that's a guest. That nagging worry about what might happen next month, a guest. That embarrassing memory that pops up out of nowhere, you guessed it, just another guest passing through. They are all temporary visitors, not the owners of the house. And this, right here, is where all of your power is. Look, you can't put a bouncer at the door of your mind. Guests are going to show up uninvited. That's just how it works. Sad ones, angry ones, scary ones. You can't control that. But you, and only you, get to decide who gets served. You decide where your energy goes. So at the end of the day, the choice that's going to define your own peace of mind really comes down to this one question. Are you going to be the host, sitting calmly in your power, in charge of your own house? Or are you going to keep being the frantic servant, completely exhausted from running around trying to cater to every single crazy thought that walks in the door? The house is yours. The choice is yours.